Like how to stand up against the wrong things.
Why do I smile or laugh when I'm nervous or shy, even if it's not funny?
In my age, IGSCs, they're like coming up. It's like teachers pressurize students a bit too much on this topic.
How is I topping like how people bullying me?
Well, firstly, you can't change anybody.
Let's start with the real questions and the real challenges these kids face.
Okay.
Let's start with Usman.
Yes.
One question I have, I wonder about like how to stand up against the wrong thing. So like nowadays people, especially on social media, they influence the wrong thing and they make it kind of look good. They make it like look a
I know.
how can I like stand up to this? This even happens to school in school. How can I stand up to this and like solve the situation?
That's a really good question. And we go back to the scenario of we can't go snitching and you feel like you'll get bullied more if you go snitching. A really good thing to do is to just say, you know what? I'm always the one who gets caught for things. So I don't think I'm going to engage in this. I'm just going to leave it and go home. If it's something a little bit more serious, I would have a code word with your mum, your dad, your auntie, whoever you feel safe with. And if you call them up or tell them to call you with that code word, let them call you up and say, there's an emergency, you need to come home. So you say to your friends, I need to go home. There's an emergency, I've just had a call. Depending on the severity of it.
Yeah.
But the best advice, if it's not severe, is to just say, I don't want to get in trouble, it's not for me, and walk away.
What do you mean by code word? So for example, I called someone. What should I say? Like just a
Well, you
random
could
word?
text message them or WhatsApp them the word green.
Yeah.
That just came out of my head out of nowhere. And so if you text the word green to somebody you trust, it's, and they have to understand that whatever situation you're in, there's no judgment because you've decided to say green. And then they come and collect you because there's an emergency in the family. So instead, if you don't feel comfortable in saying, this is not for me, I'm just going to walk away, it's fine. If you feel like you're under that much peer pressure and you're going to get, but we've all been children, you're going to get bullied for not being in it, just type green to that person who you trust. They will call you and you say, oh my goodness, there's been a family emergency, I've got to leave, my mum's coming to pick me up.
So like for example, I just like send code red.
Yeah.
There can also be like a second code possible,
Yeah.
like code green, code red.
Yeah.
Green's been okay, code red is like no.
Yeah, so that they understand that if it's that colour that you've agreed, they call you as soon as they see it and you answer with, oh my goodness, there's an emergency in the family, I've got to leave, and you can get picked up. But you've got to have the trust with that person that whatever's happening, you made the right decision and they can't judge you for being in that situation. So you've got to explain that to them.
So it can be like anyone, like even a friend, like it can be only a family member.
Whoever you trust.
Then thank you.
You got your answer?
Yeah, I got my answer.
You're happy with the answer? Okay. Any other question you have?
I have a question. This is like everything, like everywhere it happens. It's about how people speak. So in my school, mashallah, there's amazing students. They're A's and A's and A's in every subject. But the only issue they have is like speaking in front of others. So for example, it's like a presentation. We have presentations like every time. It's a presentation. They get up in front of the class. They literally just like freeze in the middle of it. How does this happen, and like how can we stop it?
Okay, really good question. So basically, somebody who is super smart and really clever may work from a space of perfection. Okay, so if I'm talking on this podcast today and I say a wrong word, I just rectify it. I don't overthink it. It's just a word I said wrong. But some people who are smart want to be perfect. So if they don't deliver a perfect speech, That's the fear that they will have, that they will get judged about it because they want everything to be perfect because they're smart.
So it's like learn from your mistakes.
Yes. So a really good, that's a very kind question to ask about your friends. And so what I would do is reaffirm to start with. So when they said you could ask them a question and say, that's a really good answer, that, and keep making positive suggestions when they're talking. Say, oh, do you know what? That's really good what you've just said. That's so interesting.
So like tiny comments.
Yeah. And then encourage it when there's a group of people, a small group, and ask them a question. Could be about anything. Okay. And just say, yeah, that's really good. I had not thought of that. And then you can, if you're close to them and they're speaking to you about it, you can now teach them about visualizing them being on the stage and talking, confidently in their mind, and the positive affirmations. If it's not anything you're comfortable with discussing with, just keep saying to them, that's an amazing idea. I've never thought of that. Gosh, you do have some good ideas, and you will build their confidence.
That's, I understand. But last question is about exams, especially like in my age, IGCSEs, they're like coming up. Is like teachers pressurize students a bit too much on this like topic. Even like my parents, they're like always talking about IGCSEs, but they tell me to like relax. It's kind of like hard to do that. What should I do?
I've been through this with my son, so I've got real life. Well, everything I've said today, I've got real life experience with. I think that teachers perhaps get judged on the grades that all the children come out with. So it's like, it's difficult because if some of the children fail, they get judged on their ability to teach. So they're also feeling the pressure, and then they're passing the pressure on to you. And you've got to learn to be resilient and just think, well, I can only do my best.
Yeah.
But then do the breathing exercise, and every bit of pressure that they put on you, breathe it out of your body and say those words, okay? But just don't let the pressure, just go, oh, that's an interesting point of view. You're putting it back to them. Well, that's an interesting point of view. What can anybody say to it? It's an interesting point of view.
Yeah.
Breathe it out as dark smoke. And also, if that then leads you to worrying and panicking, your brain will go blank when you're in the exam because you're under so much pressure. So you have to I'm not saying ignore your teachers, please, anybody. But what you have to do is just put a protective bubble around you and let all of that bounce off. And go back to your affirmations and your visualizing that I go in and do my exams and it's all great. And like you said, you've got to take the action. You've got to be doing your revision, but just don't take the pressure.
As long as you are giving your best, that's what is needed and matters. Don't take the pressure at all.
And that's all my questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. They were really interesting questions, and I hope my answers have helped you.
Okay.
I have one simple question to ask. Why do I smile or laugh when I'm nervous or shy, even if it's not funny?
Well, you're talking to the right person for this, because this is what I do. And do you know why? It's because you're uncomfortable with the situation. It's because you don't know how to react to this news. So you're automatically, instead of going into a fear mode, it ends up, you don't internally feel like it's funny, do you? It's just that you smile or you laugh and then you get in trouble. The only thing I can say to that is, again, affirmations. When I am nervous, I will react appropriately, and visualize yourself doing it. And the only other thing that I can suggest is when somebody says this, try and think of a negative situation to try and bring your face back together again. But it all comes down to being nervous and not knowing how to react in that situation. Okay? So you work on your affirmations and visualize yourself being told scenarios that make you laugh. It might be if you're getting in trouble at school, your automatically reaction is to laugh because you don't know how to deal with somebody raising their voice at you. If you're told bad news about an auntie or something that's happened, your instant reaction might be to laugh because you can't deal with those emotions. You don't want to deal with something that's heavy and serious. So your emotions are coming out in a different way. We go back to the affirmations and visualization of when somebody delivers something to me, I can deal with this with ease. I can handle situations without laughing. After X amount of days, your brain will start to believe that statement.
I just want to ask you, like, how do I prevent stopping, like, how people bullying me? How do I, like, think, like all the bad stuff going from me? Like, should I keep on meditating?
Well, firstly, you can't change anybody. And one thing I always say is the bullies that are in the classroom, it doesn't change when you start going to work. They become managers and they will perhaps not treat the team well.
Yeah.
You can't change how other people are. Now, depending on their personalities, you could, I don't know the situation, you could try saying, do you know how this makes me feel? And try and work on the compassionate side of them.
Oh.
This is really putting me in a bad place and I don't know why you want to put me in a bad place.
Oh.
It could be that you ask one of them, what is it about me that makes you want to bully me? Okay?
Okay.
Then I would speak, but the other side of it, I would speak to a parent, your mum, and have a look into this new law that's come out about bullying. I saw it on Loving Dubai on the banner, so I think you need to look into that. And I understand that teachers don't always, take it seriously because they've probably got every child coming to them saying they're being bullied. So they're not being horrible.
Yeah.
They're there to teach you, They're probably not trained in counselling well, they probably are, but they've got everybody coming to them every day. I would work on the affirmations, the visualization, and look into from not a mindfulness place, but to what we've just told you about that new law that's come out.
Yeah, but my second question is, like, in my school, there's primary and secondary. Primary is like for the small kids. Last year I was in primary, and then now I came to secondary. Now I don't know how to adapt to secondary. It's kind of hard without any friends helping me to adapt.
Oh.
And I'm trying to adapt to secondary, but I can't.
Yeah. And again, mindfulness is brilliant for this. Meditation is brilliant for this. Visualization. I've worked with children on these topics, and I think that I've actually been asked to go into schools to do like meditations and talks to help the transition from primary to high school because of the pressure it puts on you. So mindfulness again, I am strong, I am capable, I am confident. And you have to work out within yourself, and I know you're a very young age, but you have to work out in yourself what that fear is and really think about where that fear comes from. Is it a fear of being disliked? Is it a fear of you don't know what to say to people? Is it a fear of you don't fit in? And I would really write it down and journal it, what you feel, and then I would write positive statements to counteract those feelings. And if you do feel like this, I really have to say that you do need to find the counsellor in the school and make this issue be taken seriously.
Yeah, check out with the counselor. You need to go and find the counselor and just check with them.
Yeah.
And do your inner things. Do the mindfulness.
Yeah.
And do the affirmations. It's really
Yeah.
good. And visualization, that is going to really make the difference because you'll have that inner power to let people do anything they want, and you will end up attracting right friends in your circle because you believe in yourself. You are doing what needs to be done. You are doing your own inner work, so you will attract automatically the right friends. Don't think like you need to attract everyone in your circle. You are there, and once you believe in yourself and you visualize, you affirm,
100%.
you're gonna get the right friends in your life. That's more important than having a bunch of friends, right?
Yeah.
You need genuine, real friends. So just work towards having right friends. Even when you are meditating or whether you are saying your affirmations, say, I want right friends and the real friends to be around me.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Jane. Thanks for coming.
No
The stories
problem.
that matter and sharing, the wisdom and the knowledge and insights and serious practical tips which they can actually inculcate in their daily lives, especially the affirmations, the visualizations, and the quick meditation which we had over here. I'm sure, like listeners out here, whoever is gonna inculcate in their daily rituals is gonna have wonderful impact the way these boys had.
Yeah. And I just want to say thank you because those were questions really from the heart. And also, we, haven't scripted the meditation and we haven't scripted your answers. They all came from your heart. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Jane.
Thank you.
One thing I want to share with all parents out there that let your kids explore and grow. Let your kids experiment and learn. So let them be them. Give them that freedom, space, and presence so that they can nurture their brilliant minds and become the best version of themselves. This episode was just curated for kids, and I'm really thankful to all of you for coming to Stories That Matter and sharing your challenges, your struggles, real ones, because at Stories That Matter, we get the conversations which are raw, which are real and unfiltered. Thanks for making it possible.